Hello, we're a little tardy tonight. Sorry about that. We had a slight technical difficulty, but everyone pulled through, and here we are with Sean Griffin. Woo!
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
Really, really appreciate it. We've actually already started talking, so we'll just continue our conversation. But uh, let's see. We have some videos of your work. You actually, of course, you have these amazing operas that you create, right? So
hmm
we don't we only have this little garage, so we don't have enough room for the company to be here. So you brought
That's
us a
right.
video.
I brought a couple videos of a couple projects. I started this opera group, Opera Povera, in just a couple of years ago after I staged, or I got a commission to stage a large opera, and the amount of work that goes into something like that is just can't be reduced to one person, and so I know a lot of really great people, so I just kind of pulled them together and said, let's be a group. And so that's what we've been doing.
What does the name mean?
It comes from an Italian art movement called Arte Povera, which emerged in the 60s out of social strife and communist, socialist actions. And so I kind of really looked at art as I mean, they used garbage to make
Mm-hmm.
art and found objects and things like this. And now the art's worth like tons of money, but it was made, it was sort of intended to kind of problematize the relationship between material and meaning and life and art and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's what I wanted to do with opera because, opera's very expensive,
Mm.
but it doesn't have to be expensive to be good. So anyways, that's kind of like the idea. It's very difficult to get new opera staged.
Mm.
So with the idea that the kinds of opera that's not getting made that needs to get made is what I'm going to do.
Nice. The is there actual goal of having a very low budget type of thing or no?
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no, no. No, no,
No,
we try to have as big of a
as best
budget
budget as
as we
possible.
can.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the spirit of it.
The spirit of it is that yeah, by any means, that it doesn't have to. Well, I think people associate opera with opulence and expensive things, and kind of associate themselves with, through a class kind of thing sometimes, maybe, or that
Mm.
opera means grandiosity to people.
Has
But
that connotation.
it has that connotation. But there's a lot. Basically, opera just, I just view opera as kind of an interdisciplinary form that's kind of motivated by musical movement and expressed through various kinds of vocality, and usually with a lot of dance too.
Mm. Is your in terms of the style of work? Are you also trying to have a more social sort of relevancy to the theme or the approach or maybe even the audience or
Yeah, it's to kind of develop. Well, the project I'm working on now is sort of has a communitarian kind of element to it.
oh, can you talk about that a little bit?
It's a new project just starting in Chicago. It's the creation of a new opera with George Lewis based on his book Power Greater Than Itself from 2009, and award-winning book. It's a great book about the ACM and how that all that formed. And it's the last chapter, which is a fictional meeting between all of these people who formed the AACM. And so
Oh,
it's kind of emerging from the set of concerns or the kind of environment that chapter evokes and what it represents. And so we're sort of mining this for and working with the original members of the ACM and all of
really?
the archival footage and all
Wow.
of the stuff to create a new kind of interdisciplinary operatic expression. So
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really happy to
Wow,
start with
that's
that one.
exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
When is
'Cause,
that going to be shown?
we are looking at 2 years
Okay.
from around now. So,
Wow,
yeah,
that sounds great.
yeah, yeah.
And
I'm
so,
really
what the
excited about
videos
it.
that we'll see, it's a sort of a
Well, this piece
part of
is also a collaboration. Usually,
some,
these works emerge from collaborative things, and I wanted to show some of maybe the first major opera that I started working with the company members mainly, which is a clip of an opera that I wrote in 2010
okay,
called Cold Spring.
Cold Spring.
And it's an abduction scene, an alien abduction scene. There's a young interracial couple in 1961 named Betty and Barney Hill were supposedly abducted by aliens, and that their transcripts of their hypnosis tapes, as they recalled these memories because they forgot them, they recalled all these memories, and they're very. The hypnotist that they used was very aggressive in suggesting things, and so they published this book and became celebrities. And so I took that story and kind of cross-sected that with what the aliens were doing, which was eugenical research on these people. And actually, in 1961, you're only 20 years away from eugenics policies that were geared towards eliminating entire races and creating a master race in the United States. And so there's all of this. Really, in 1924, the Immigration Act was a negative eugenics immigration act to force Nordicism into the country. So it kind of looks at Benny and Barney Hill through that, so that they're not being abducted by aliens so much as they are being abducted by eugenics.
Wow, let's check it out.
So what you see is Betty and Barney Hill and a bunch of characters emerging from the darkness as Betty is sucked into the space.
All right.
No. She was facing a wall.
Is it coming?
These mics are live.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to sit here so you want to talk?
Can I hear it? Is it sound?
There's a spot on the ground in there using me there. Everything would have been black.
This is wrong. Where are you taking me?
Did the sheriff come to tell you about the baby?
I will not
Yep.
believe
Somebody done bombed the temple.
I think
Cause of death?
keeping
I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry.
this mental picture. My eyes be
What more could
tightly
there
closed.
possibly be? There's his daddy,
I won't
hanging from the
open
tree.
My brother Manny brought home a little white cat one time. And Papa said we couldn't keep it because we couldn't afford to feed
my
it.
eyes tightly closed.
Maybe I'll let her talk about me so he won't look with them.
Don't be ridiculous.
It will be sky blue,
I do love it.
electric
Don't
blue,
you, Miss Daisy?
Step the car.
bright lights.
It's all around denying his pain.
I will not open my eyes.
If I ever
Keep
done
them
anything,
closed. Don't open them.
just a little bitty boy. Couldn't have been no more than 10 years old. Round bottles, stones, unless you've got something to problem.
Where's Betty? Where's Betty?
Yes, to a certain fate. Yeah, so that was at MPAC, which is the Experimental Medium Performing Arts Center in Troy, New York. It's part of the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute there. So
And you mentioned that it was it was sort of inaugurating this place.
no, it was I think it was one of the first major performances that utilized one of their theaters. They have three performance spaces there. But I was very happy. I did 3 concerts or 3 projects there before they let me stage that. So, so I got to know the people there very well. They're wonderful place, and they have open, they have open calls for new works to be developed there all the time.
Oh.
So
So all the composers out there.
you should definitely,
go
if
check
you
that
can,
out.
if you can
Yeah.
swing something like that, because they're
Nice.
wonderful. They're really wonderful.
What's next?
Next, I wanted to show the piece that I did with Catherine Sullivan just before that for the Bomb Festival in 2009 or 8. I forget exactly, but it was in Seoul, Korea, and we were invited to work with this company called the Yohangza Theater Company, and they do more Western style theater productions, but it's very contemporary, and everything's translated into Korean, and most of the cast can't speak English, and so, but they had a repertoire of European works, and so what Catherine and I often do is break down narratives into these sort of mnemonic devices that actors respond to, and then set them into rhythm that we rehearse to tease out specific kinds of effects, and it's very close work with rhythm and with the actors. And then the Babing Music Ensemble came and played. I constructed the rhythm such that it's in a traditional Korean changdan, but it extends certain beats longer than they should be. So it's and the only way that so everyone's counting, you can hear those counting, and the only way they can really orient each other is with chomping their teeth. So there's these moments, these downbeats where you have these chomping of teeth, because in some Korean traditional music, you have the slowest beats in the world. It's this kind of beat vertigo, and I was really interested in very, very, very slow down beat, like a very, very, very slow one. Like, anyway, so this piece is a very, we took the play Peer Gynt with all the different characters, and so pretty much characters from the entire play are all happening in this condensed kind of dance version of the piece of the play. So that's the next clip.
Okay. What's it titled?
It is titled on their it should be Ouija. The theater piece was called Ouija. It was in combination with the installation that she did as well.
죽었다라고 하는 표현은 좀 무식한 표현이고 자기 자신을 떠나는 거죠. 자기를 떠난다고 하는 것은 결과적으로 온 세계의 혁명을 초래한다. 지금까지 미치광이로 불리던 자가 어젯밤 11시기에 정상이 되었고 지금 이 시간 이후부터는 이른바 현자가 미치기 시작할 것입니다.
이제 이 사람 미쳤어.
저 사람들은 모르겠는 거야. 시간 얘기를 해서 말이에요. 제가 좀 바빠서. 맞아요. 우리에게 시간이 없죠.
sounds pretty awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
You mentioned while we were watching it that at first you sort of had to acclimate your ideas to this company, right? There was a process.
You know, there were other artists invited to work with people too, and you know, other people brought their own performers, but we really wanted to work with the local ensemble, with Korean artists, you know, and to really get a sense for what was going on and how things were working in Seoul at that time. And so we were lucky enough to work with the Yohang's Theater Group, but the music ensemble was the Babing ensemble, where they were very kind and generous. And like I said, I had composed the beats in a different way, and it wasn't traditional, but they understood that the piece wasn't traditional. But you know, politics are really different there, and it's, you know, when you see that kind of theater and the kinds of things that people are doing with their bodies, and it's an unusual thing, I think, for Seoul, where you don't really have, you know, this kind of avant-garde culture, really, you know, there. So
it's changing. Right?
It's changing, definitely, a lot, really quickly too.
I know recently a friend of mine, Mark Greenfield, he's a visual artist. He teaches at CalArts as well, and he went there and he couldn't believe the breadth of contemporary art that they had. The facilities that they were actually exhibiting in were incredible. You know, and he was just blown away. They treated, of course, they treated him like a king.
Yes, I mean, they're very, very.
It was really nice to hear that.
But the main thing was that the actors themselves really worked so hard. I mean, there was over 1,060 individual beats of unique moments of acting that these people memorized over the course of 3 weeks, 8 hours a day. And they did an amazing job. I mean, they were really.
It looks great. Just the short.
It was a really wonderful process. It was really great.
What else did you bring today?
I brought another clip of, since Charles Gaines and I did, and with Edgar Arsenault as well, did a piece a couple years back at Red Cat called Snake River, and since Charles has a piece up at Paula Cooper right now that I arranged his music for, I thought I would play our first piece together, which was my music, and it has an ensemble and features Dana Reason, Hans Fjellstad, I don't know if you know him, he's this great mood player, improvisers, and a bunch of other people that I haven't seen in a while.
Hans is on this thing?
Oh, you know Hans?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's on there.
He's been on this show.
Oh, he has? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, good.
Hi, Hans.
So this is just a bunch of clips. I mean, Snake River is about 70 minutes long.
Oh.
This is a smaller clip than that.
Right.
So it's just a couple clips from that.
Let's check it out. starting to realize that we're running out of time. So if we have one more video that we'd like to show.
What is the last video that we have there? Oh, this is called Triangle of Need. It was another collaboration with Catherine Sullivan, and the language that you hear all the actors speaking is this artificial language called Mousterian that I spent some time developing, and sort of a musical language implied by the book that you had mentioned, The Singing Neanderthals. At the time I was doing a lot of research about Neanderthal vocalization. And so, but this is a very different kind of thing, because this, we're on an island somewhere, and there are 3 women who are trying to breed Neanderthals who have taken a discontinuation pact. And so they try to get them to breed in various ways, but they start getting sick. So this is a very complex piece. I can't really, but you can enjoy it. It's a multi-channel, and it's very operatic in its manifestation. And so this is Triangle of Need with Catherine Sullivan, Dylan Skybrook, Kunle Afolayan, and yeah. So
Let's run it. Okay, we've run out of time. I wish we could see more, but we'll put the links on the sidebar.
yes, most of them you can find from my website, www.seangriffin.org.
.org.
O-R-G.
Well, thank you, Sean, for coming.
Thank you for
out.
inviting me, and
Really
I hope
appreciate it.
you enjoyed the experience as
It was
much as
great
I did.
meeting you.
It was great.